Hello. Jeff, my case. How's it going? All right, we are live. Here we go. Thanks for showing up. It's going to be about a 30-minute stream, so plan accordingly. I got to get off relatively promptly because a friend of mine is streaming at 8:30, so much easier time to make today. Good. Well, Monday through Fridays this time, and weekends are going to be much earlier in the day. There we go. It's synth chillaxin time. I'll put that on a t-shirt. Well, eating at the airport, wow. Well, safe travels. I almost did this at about 115 BPM just to be different, but it was too much dance music. Give me a couple weeks. We'll get there slowly, increase tempo over time. Let me bring in some parts here. Sure, Mike. I could do that. Ben, man. On the weekends, it'll be much earlier for you. I'm going to go like in the mornings here. Sometimes it's a little jazzy. A few notes that were, let's call them unintentional. All right. So there's been some noise. Let's bring this down a bit and talk a bit about what we're looking at here. Let's see. All right. So what are we doing tonight? Let me read this chat here. Let's see. Thank everybody for coming. Let's see. Yeah, at the airport, Tracy. That's dedication. Thanks. Let's see. The modulaxation genre. Okay, I'll buy that. Very cool. Let's see. Let me scan through this quickly, and then I'm going to get back to Mike. 2:05 in Germany. Oof. Thanks. Let's see. Quick scan. YouTube failed to notify me. It's a conspiracy. It may be a conspiracy. So it's okay. I'll post it to the Discord so you can't miss it. Let's see. Happy accidents. Yeah, the jazzy stuff can be happy accidents. The highlight reel from yesterday had some happy accidents in it that I really enjoyed. But okay. So Mike, you want to know about the mastering chain that I've got going. You're happy with the mastering setup for production, but too heavy on the CPU for live performance. Okay. Well, my mastering chain, I'm not set up to show you the screen right now. Sorry, guys. That's something I'm learning to do appropriately. To keep the audio processing stuff separate from the stream ingestion stuff, because if you looked at any of my older streams, I've had a few crashes. So when I try and put it all on one machine, things get a little unstable. So I've separated it out, and the ingestion, video stream ingestion stuff is on one machine, and all Ableton and everything else is on another machine. So let me just describe for you my ultra complex mastering chain. It involves, I'll talk about the mic in a second, but the music, all the synths and stuff running into Ableton, going through their individual tracks. There isn't really any compression on anything except the bass. Everything's pretty straightforward. And then on the master bus of Ableton, I have a glue compressor that's literally set with the preset called Catch Peaks, which is just an SSL emulation. I'm sorry if that's really disappointing. I'm not doing anything magical. That's literally the only compression I have in the system other than the stuff on the bass. And the bass is like stupidly compressed, like all over the place. I did a video on how this bass patch is built. But sorry, Mike, if that's disappointing. I'm in Ableton. I'm literally using the glue compressor with the Catch Peaks preset. And the threshold's at negative 1.9 dB. There's no makeup gain at all. And the ratio is at, what is it? The ratio is at 10. I mean, it's the preset. So, yeah, you can get away with the lightweight stuff. The glue compressor in Ableton works really well. And the latency it is adding is 0. So it claims that it's 0 samples. So I don't know. So we'll see where that goes. But, anyway, so I'm gonna do a little bit more. So we'll keep going here. Let's bring it on back in. Let's play with some of the sequences for a minute. So the last few nights I've been doing a lot of playing, which I like to do and I'm going to continue to do. But let's screw around with Metropolis for a bit. Steve, can I just say that I really liked your Brilliant School tutorials? Hey, thanks, guys. And your Matriarch deep dives. Did I do a Matriarch deep dive? Okay. Looking for something to replace glue compressor since you switched to Bitwig. Yeah, I understand. I'm under a ton of pressure to switch to Bitwig. Like every friend in my local scene, they all left Ableton for Bitwig. But I have like so much money invested in my Ableton infrastructure and so much time invested in my Max for Live stuff that I'm just never going to switch. And they're like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, well, I'm lazy and I've got all this effort put into this. So Bitwig is very cool. And I know it does amazing stuff, but this gets the job done for me. So let's see. Before I jump in here. Turn all the knobs up on the 3630. Okay. The push doesn't work as well in Bitwig. Yeah, I know there's somebody, at least 2 people, or maybe one guy did a really good bridge for push in Bitwig. Like everybody raves about it, but whatever. I'm good. All right, so let's play with the sequence. So what is this? I'll give you a little detail. This is Metropolis voice. The second Metropolis here. It's the first voice. It's driving a Beehive, which is a Platts clone. Okay. And what are we in? What scale is this? I've forgotten. We're in Dorian, C Dorian. All right. And so the current sequence that's running here is 6 stages long and 64 pulses. Okay. So there are 6 notes that I picked out of the Dorian mode, and they're assigned. And then the pulse counts are, stage 1 is 8, stage 2 is 8, stage 3 is 4 pulses, stage 4 is 4 pulses, stage 5 is 2 pulses, stage 6 is 2 pulses, and 7 and 8 are 2 pulses. All right, so it's like the first 2 stages are big, long held notes, and then the next 2 are half that length, all right? And then the next 2 are half that length again. So if you were to look at this as like a MIDI clip, it would be, you'd have 6 notes in it. And the first 2 notes would be a whole beat, like a quarter note and a quarter note. And the next 2 notes would be an 8th note and an 8th note. And the last 2 notes would be a 16th note and a 16th note. That's the sort of the shape of the notes in this. All right. So that's what we're listening to right now. Now, the reason it doesn't sound like that is because I've got it parsing the sequence not as a linear pattern. I've got it hopscotching around. It's jumping back and forth. If I dial it back to a linear pattern, and hold on a second. Okay, so what you're hearing is, I'll tell you when it resets. That's stage one, stage two, stage 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's like it gets shorter and shorter. So it starts rushing at the end, if you listen. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anyway, you got to be there. I got to invest in another camera. Just find an old iPhone. I'll point it at this stuff to show you. But one of the nice things about the Metropolis is you can change the order of that stuff. So instead of going through it linearly, we can do just the even stages and then just the odd stages. Let me bring in another. This is the counter pattern. It's using the same notes, but in a different pattern. So as far as the Berlin School tutorial stuff, let me mute the... So this is the pattern 1, and pattern 2 is this. All right, that's pattern 2. So we'll bring in pattern 1, we'll layer them on top of each other. And they're both 6 stages long. We'll make one 8 stages long. All right, so it's almost random, but not quite. If we dial in the pulse count, make the pulse count shorter, you'll hear a pattern develop. All right, so let's do this. Let's bring it all back into 16 pulses. All right. Now, because the pulse counts are shorter, it's easier to hear the repetition because it loops sooner. Bring the pulse counts back up. So now because the pulse counts are higher, the pattern lasts longer, so it moves out to the later stages that have different pitches in them. It's probably not a good explanation. So the Metropolis, I don't like to do gear reviews, but the Metropolis is the sort of thing where I will probably do a Synth Seeker video that's not a live stream, that's just camera pointed at the sequencer showing, say, hey, this is a style of sequencer that's useful. There's a version of this in VCV Rack, so you could play with this sequencer without having to pay for it, pay a large amount of money for it, right? Or if, and this is based off of a much older sequencer that has the same basic idea of stages and pulse counts. I may just do a video explainer on the Metropolis, although they exist out there and they're well done already, so you can, search for it. Now, so we've got these patterns running, and we're in what? C Dorian, so we'll put a bass drone under it. Going back to the Berlin School stuff, right? So we've got a bed running, and we've got a bass. That's a drone in this case. And we can play melodies over it, right? And C Dorian is... those notes. It's white keys on the keyboard, but E flat and B flat. Jazz. More jazz. Again, I don't I don't play on the keyboard very much. I need 2 grids. Not great. All right, let's do this. Well, let's see. How much are we doing for time? Got a few minutes left. All right. So let me do one quick loop with the bass, play a little melody over it, and I'll look at the questions, and then that'll be half an hour. So let's see. Turn on our metronome. I don't know if you guys can. You shouldn't be able to hear the click in the feed. I hope not, because it's really annoying, but I need to hear it. So I need to know where the downbeats are. Ableton, push, live looping, good. To indulge just a little bit. Okay, all right. That's musical masturbation. All right, let's bring this out. Answer a few questions in the chat, and then we'll call it a night. I'll just leave this running down under there. All right. So let me scroll back just a teeny bit here. I've got it in giant text mode. Let's see. All right. Push would work well with Bitwig. Tracy says, this is why I don't use DAWs yet. So hybrid systems are fun and they're useful, right? I have waffled back and forth. I've fought with like, go DAWless. And then just stay in the box, and then, do modular, or buy monolithic synths and sequence them with Ableton, right? Use it as a control center, the orchestrator of everything. I've done it all. Okay, the last 10 plus years, I have flipped back and forth. I bought, easily $20,000 worth of modular over 5 years, and then sold it all and bought that much in keyboards, right? Or more, right? And then sold all that and went completely in the box, right? Said, what am I doing? I've got all this software. Let's just do that. And what it really comes down to is, what do you want to do, right? For me, I have finally reconciled the collector from the composer, right? I want to make music and publish it, but I also want to collect synths because they're freaking awesome. I love them, right? And I used to be like, why do you have a collection that you don't use? Because I've got a bunch of synths sitting under dust cloths, right? Well, I do use them. I just don't use them all the time. And I swap things in and out. And I'm okay with that now. And it may be an age thing. I've passed the I don't give a fuck threshold. I'm just like, God damn it. I want what I want. And my wife's fine with it. But the place where I'm happiest in the case of the stream is when I can play my monolithic synths, and I've got this modular toy, right? And a lot of people hate it when you call their musical device a toy, right? But for me, it's a toy, okay? It's not my means of income. It's a hobby. If you're a professional and you're making music, carry on. But for me, it's a toy. And then I've got this stuff in the box. And the box is super important to me because if I ever want to be an adult and be like, oh, my wife's calling, I got to stop what I'm doing and go do something I'm responsible for. I need to be able to save what I'm doing, right? And be able to come back later and say, where the hell was I? Oh, it's saved. I can load it back up, or at least load up enough of where I was that I can go forward. The less in the box you are, the harder it is to pick up where you left off if you save in the middle. Now, some artists are like, screw that. Art is transient. If you don't capture it, hit record all the time. And if you capture it, great, right? Our buddy Ben in our Discord server is very much in this space where he's like, he records all the time. Or at least he did. And if that's your mode of working, fine. But I'm okay with it, right? So, I'm sorry. I went on a little rant. Sorry, Tracy. Not aimed at you. No disrespect. Investment in Ableton. My DAW's a glorified MIDI router and multi-track recording system. Yeah, I've been there. For sure. Ben says, likes to play the bass on the pad. I do. I love playing grids. They're so good. And keys are good too. There's something, maybe because my dad's a drummer. I like, and there's something percussive about playing a pad that's like percussive playing a bass. But you can do beautiful things on the piano, but I don't have that skill. So it's okay. Let's see. Yeah, jazz. We went through a little jazz section. That's okay. Let's see. Stepic. A lot of people use Stepic. It's a great tool. My house is full of toys. Yeah, seriously. Let's see. I've got less than a minute, and then Garrett's going to be rolling. Like to be able to set up a MIDI controller with Stepic. Launchpad Pro 3 is really sweet. Launchpad Pro Mark 3 is a great piece of gear. If you don't want to invest in a push and you think you might want to go DAWless, go with the Launchpad Pro Mark 3 because it totally works as a DAWless brain. And it's a really nice, very playable grid. All right, gang, I got to close this up because at this point I am horning in on a buddy's stream and I want to go watch his stream. Okay, so if you don't know, Garen M, Gerenm, I will actually here. I think he is. I got to stand up. Oh, my back. Hello, we're old. This guy. He's going to stream now, right? And it's very different from what I do. So take a peek. I'm not big in the Twitch thing, go raid other people, but he's going to start. If he hasn't already started, he's about to. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your week. Happy New Year. I'm going to do it at this time slot, Monday through Friday. Saturdays and Sundays is early morning, U.S. Eastern, like 7 a.m. So my buddies in the UK and Europe can, not have to stay up till 2 a.m. Jesus. All right. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you later. That's the quest. Where the hell's the end stream button? Here we go. See ya.